Hello guys, welcome to another episode of HTHT where the set is cheap but the talk is deep. My name is John and today we are joined by Annette.
Hi. Wait, which camera do I look at?
Whichever fits your fancy.
Should we do it again? Because now I'm...
No, it's all good. Annette, why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself? This is HTHT after all, everything's chill.
So, this is the first time I'm doing an interview like that.
First time and we got her exclusive.
I'm
right?
usually on the other side. Like, I'm usually the one asking the questions.
I mean, you can ask me back lah, but like, I'll give you my best answer. But today we want to focus more on you, so that we can find out a little bit more about you.
Okay.
Maybe you want to share a little bit more what you do.
Okay, so hi everyone. I'm Annette Lee. You guys might know me from SGAG. I used to play this character called Sue-Ann. Play a bunch of other stuff, other characters as well. I have this newscaster character called Susanna Cholotan, and then I did this Marie Kondo parody where I impersonated her also.
I love it.
Thank you. People thought I was really Marie Kondo.
Started to assassinate people at the end, so.
Why do you spoil it for the people who haven't watched it?
If you haven't watched it, then just Control Z and
yeah, then just go search it up. But yeah, I can't speak Japanese, so sadly. I also make a lot of TikToks, and I'm a musician, and yeah, I like making videos.
Very good. So actually, you basically cover everything what I wanted to say here. If you are a fan of SGAG, like she mentioned, okay, you're definitely familiar with her character, which is Sue-Ann. Okay, and also like she does other comedy works on other platforms like Instagram and like she said, TikTok. She does a lot of TikTok. Okay, what you might not know is that she's also a filmmaker and songwriter, singer-songwriter. Yeah. Her EP is right here.
Yes.
Go check it out. You just need to know her name and you already know her EP. Even though the album is actually Song for the Underdog.
Yeah. So the title track is the same name as the EP. There are like 5 songs in there. So go stream it. I think you will enjoy it. Hopefully.
Go stream it and then download her. No, not download. Sorry, go buy her EP. Don't download. What am I saying? You wouldn't download a bus or you wouldn't download a house.
Just stream it.
Shout out to whoever remembers that 90s ad. Okay, and then what makes this artist tick? Haha. Okay, today we will find out.
Oh my gosh! Artistic!
Okay.
That's a good one.
It was a pretty good one, right? Okay, I have to thank Alistair, our producer, and also the person who is the name of the channel. So leave in the comments if you want my name to appear in the channel also.
I appreciate good puns, so that was good.
Points to Alistair. I don't think he did it intentionally though. Welcome to the show, Annette!
Yay! Hi,
Do you
thanks
like
for
to
having
HTHT?
me.
Do you like to HTHT?
Yes, but not in front of camera, so I'm a bit stressed now.
Well, too bad that's all we have today.
Yeah!
Okay, so as you know, normally on our HTHTs, right, we have a nice beverage for everyone. But on our table today, we have multiple nice beverages. I have whiskey here. As you can see from her, she has grape flavored drink that's
currant.
not wine.
Similar to wine, but I'm singing tomorrow, guys.
Yeah, and that's why she can't drink. Okay? But okay, enough waffling. Let's get into it and we find out a little bit more about you. And I promise you today is going to be chill. Okay? So first question, section 1 is labeled the influencer.
Why?
Question 1. Yeah, you'll find out why. Annette played a character, Sue-Ann, right, in her videos for SGAG. So what part of Sue-Ann, right, do you wish you were more like?
I would say... I don't know. Oh my gosh, this is such a hard question.
No. How about like this? Why don't you describe Sue-Ann in 3 characteristics? 3 sentences, I guess.
I would say blur and just what's the word for innocent, I guess, and just kind of very I think she couldn't care less about a lot of things. Like
right.
I wouldn't say shameless, but just a slightly more toned down version of shameless.
Okay. So kind of you know what? I don't have a good description for that either.
Basically, I think she kind of just says whatever she wants, but she's not that crazy in whatever she says anyway.
She's not vicious lah.
Yeah.
Okay, so does any part of Annette wishes she was more like Sue-Ann?
So I guess I was thinking about these based on the question, which
Yeah.
so it would probably be that last one. like kind of just doing whatever. So the thing is, I actually used to do a lot of prank videos as Sue-Ann,
Yeah.
at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
And that was awesome because you just take on a whole new character that nobody knows. And then you can just stop random people on the streets and say whatever you want. But now we can't do that anymore because people are going to be like, hey, escape, and like whatever. Yeah, so sadly, I won't be able to do that. But I really, really enjoyed doing all that stuff, like going on streets and just talking to people.
So that was the best part, the initial stages in Escape.
Yeah.
That's what you enjoyed
The
the most?
obscurity, I would say, was pretty enjoyable.
Okay, so is Sue-Ann like some kind of disguise that you hide behind?
No lah.
Are there
Okay, so
deeper issues that we can poke at?
so the interesting thing is also, I mean, not just being able to pull off pranks as a character. I guess it was also just the fact that we were all really, really private people at the beginning.
Yes.
Like, I was really private. So a little backstory is I actually went to SGAG. Should I share the story of how I ended up there?
I mean, why not?
Oh, okay.
If you're cool with it.
Okay, I'm just going to give you a shortened version.
Yeah, give us the
Basically,
TLDR.
yeah, the TLDR is that I used to run this blog in university. It was like a web comic,
Right,
illustrated blog. So basically, I write funny stories and then I just draw drawings with it. And then after that, I ran that blog all the way till after university. So a few months into my first job after university, I was still running it. And just nice, a few months in, I wrote this blog post that went pretty viral on Facebook. Like a lot of friends and friends were sharing it. And then it reached the founders of SGAG and then they just hit me up and they were like, can we share this thing? And I was like, yeah, go ahead. And then it did really well. It went really viral as well when they shared it. And they were like, do you want to join the team? And I was like, okay. But the thing was, they didn't do videos at that time. And that was what I really wanted to do. So I studied filmmaking in university. And then when I graduated, I did the typical film student thing, right? Which was to join a production house. And then after that, I was a few months in, I was a writer. And then they gave me this offer. I was like, oh no, what if... it sounds like it's really fun because I do enjoy writing, even if I'm going over there to, say, write articles. But I was like, what if I can't do videos? But in the end, I went over there and I just said, hey guys, let's make videos. And then that's how it started.
They were like, cool, let's do it.
Yeah.
What was your role in the
simple
production
lah,
house?
but you know. So at the beginning, I was everything lah. So I was like producer, director, writer, editor, and then I was also cast. So I really did not want to act. Like, I just wanted to make the videos. But then because I was just experimentation, as in, I had to basically prove that this was something.
It could work, right?
Yeah, that could work. So I had to do everything at first and I just ended up showing out on screen. But I didn't want to show as myself because I just didn't like it. I really didn't want to act.
It's just uncomfortable.
Even now I'm like, okay, actually now I quite enjoy acting. But if I were to be faced with acting or creating a video,
right,
I would just create a video.
So you prefer to be behind camera more?
No, I'm quite equal right now.
Right.
So in fact, actually, I do both now. Like I would, in all my TikToks or whatever, I'm always showing up in it. But for me, actually, I think the more fun part is like the creation part, the writing, and then just planning however it's gonna go. But I do enjoy both now. So I would say that has changed. And it was kind of a blessing in disguise because I was to some extent, I wouldn't say I was camera shy, but I just wasn't very comfortable with it. And I think it pushed me out of my comfort zone. And now I'm a lot more comfortable with things, even like public speaking or even performing. And so when it came to music also, I was a very bedroom singer.
Yeah.
And I was working on music all the time. Like even from university, all that, I was gigging and I was writing a lot of music. And I always felt, oh my gosh, because I do have a bit of stage fright, to be honest. And if I have to perform, I get so scared. And I just kept wondering, how was I gonna ever do that?
Yeah.
So I think it was just really timely that I dropped my first EP because I had some good songs at the point in time. So I dropped my first EP 1 or 2 years into being at SGAG.
Yeah.
And
it just gained traction.
Yeah, and I started when I started going out perform and stuff like that, I think honestly the acting part actually did help me in terms of confidence and just in terms of just getting comfortable with a crowd and whatever. Because before that, I would be pretty scared. Yeah, I would do gigs last time in university, right? Where I go to pubs and sing. And the reason why I was okay with that, you know why? It's because nobody's listening.
Really?
Yeah, you know pubs, nobody listen one. You're like
I
background
do.
music and they're there like talking to your friends. Oh, yeah. And then like when the song is done, then like, okay, thank you very much. And there's like one guy clapping for you. But I was okay with it. I was like, please don't listen to me. If you all stare at me, I get so scared.
Okay.
Yeah.
But now you're over that.
I wouldn't say I'm completely over it, but I'm so much more comfortable.
That's great, right? As a result of kickstarting this video thing in Escape.
Yeah, because
which is wildly successful, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, love the stuff she does. If you don't know what she does, where have you been, man?
Yeah. I'm working on a lot of like my own content now also, so super exciting. So I'm working on stuff for, like you say, Instagram, TikTok, and I'm also trying out some longer stuff on YouTube. So yeah.
So how would you rate our setup video background, senpai?
How to rate?
What's
that to rate? 10 about 10 long.
No, it's just me putting you in the spot. No, okay, good. No, because you brought up a few good points just now about how you mentioned that you were a very private person, right? Especially prior to your job at SGAG, right? So, right now, right, as an influencer, quote unquote, right, how do you balance that need to share and your need for privacy?
I just don't share the things that I make sure I have a private space.
And
honestly,
that space is?
Things I don't want to share. So I won't talk about it. When you ask me this question, I won't say. No, but seriously, I think it's to some extent, in fact, because I came from there, it's not very difficult for me. Sometimes I need to post IG story, then I get very tired, like I need to post Instagram, I also get very tired. I wish I could just not have to constantly post stuff, because it is like, now I realize, oh my gosh, it's a job, and then I see that but if it wasn't a job, then I would just,
it's just for you to post whatever you want, have fun,
which will probably be not a lot, trust me.
I kind of get that energy from you, and I get that energy from actually a large number of people that I interact with, that kind of like hold this influencer status because they are good at what they do. So celebrate that latter part, the in front part. Think less about it. I think you'll be happier for it. But great, man, great. I'm glad that you found some way to deal with it. Okay.
Thank you.
Next question for you, right? Do you feel the need as an artist / an influencer to take a side in social issues? In fact, we talked about this over dinner. Yeah, in social issues. Maybe why don't you share what are some social issues that you're passionate about?
Okay, so I think first of all, like I find it kind of crazy how people are just so divided, right? And it's always a fight between like yes or no, right? And a lot of times the world is far more complex than yes or no, you know what I mean? It like everything exists on a spectrum, right?
Yeah.
So even whatever, say, I believe in and everything, I think it's not wise to go out there and like shout out my viewpoint in whatever extremity that it could look like, So, but if you're talking about what I personally am pretty passionate about, I would say I'm pretty passionate about like young kids, I won't say kids lah, like teenagers who are growing up having a tough time.
Troubled teens.
Yeah, or like mental issues, mental health basically.
Yeah.
And I think because personally, when I grew up, it's like typical Asian family, a lot of pressure.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, and it's just also, I think in school, it just, I was never the cool kid, I was also like ugly kid, and I was like, I didn't play sports.
She just did her brows recently, please.
Yes, I just did my brows this
please
morning.
Please praise her brows.
Okay,
anyway, you were saying.
so and then, Sorry, you see, I when I digress, I take a while
Let me
to
just
come
catch
back.
you up again. You mentioned
Okay.
that you were not the cool kid.
Yes.
You know, yeah.
So, and I know that there's so many struggles that people can go through, especially I would say girls. I do have like
A soft spot.
a soft spot for girls who are struggling because it's just so many different types of weird societal expectations that are thrown upon you. And so I really, if you're talking about what I'm really passionate about, I would say like mental health and just young teens who are trying to discover themselves. I think identity for me is I help people with identity because I struggled with that a lot when I was growing up. Like people like be yourself, but like who am I?
What is myself, right?
Who am I even?
No, but that's
How to
great
be-
because honestly, I feel that like social causes like yours invest in the future, and like children. I mean, I hate to break it to you if you don't believe this, but children are our future. Time just works that way, so I think it's great, But at the same time, what I'm curious about, coming back to the earlier question that we have, right, is about whether as an influencer, right, if let's say there is a polarizing social issue, do you feel right that you need to take a side? Or does it not matter? Or if or for that matter, like myself, right? Does having a moderate attitude towards it, is that fine? That could be that could be a side.
I always think, I always try my best to take a step back when it gets too noisy. Like I think if everyone is getting too political, sometimes I would say on social media, I try my best to make sure I think it through, and occasionally I have given my 2 cents on an issue. But if it's an issue where I feel I have no place to say anything on, then I just don't talk about it.
You rather not.
Yeah, sometimes it's better just not to say. But I have spoken on certain things before. But I always make sure I think it through lah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
for
it's
sure.
same for my comedy. Like I just started this new satirical news show where I impersonate people and play every single character. I think the hardest part sometimes is writing it because a lot of times you're tackling current affairs, right? So I'm talking about facts, like things that actually have happened in the news and just divisive opinions on it and stuff. So it's about treading carefully while still making it funny because you also don't want to make an offensive joke.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, very good. Okay, next question. Next, we will move on to our next segment, okay, which is titled The Underdog, right? So Annette's latest EP is titled Song for the Underdog, inspired by how she always felt like the odds were stacked against her throughout her life. First part of it is, do you enjoy being the underdog? And you know what? Well, that shall be the second part. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about how about this part where you feel that sometimes the odds are stacked against you? Give us a little bit of a backstory.
I think everyone, I would say most, okay, maybe not everybody. Some people really just born into luxury and perfection, right? But most people, I think, would have something that's against them. Like even if maybe you do have it all, maybe someone in your life who is really important to you passed on early, that kind of thing. Like and that has really taken a great toll on you. Or it could just be, you feel like you're pretty average at stuff that you do. And just I think for me, I personally felt that so wait, your question is whether I enjoy it.
No, that's the second part. So the first part is like give us a little bit of this backstory about what are some of the things in your life that make you feel that the odds were stacked against you.
Okay. So yeah, like I mentioned just now, I felt in school, I was not the cool kid and everything, and I think it was also the fact that I was made to feel stupid by teachers.
Oh.
Like personally, I don't think I'm that dumb lah.
Teachers, you gotta stop that shit.
Okay, no. Okay, I need to give some context to this.
Okay, give it.
So basically, I chose. You specialize your subjects, right?
It's not in secondary school.
In secondary school,
Yes.
So then I chose. I took art, and then in JC I also took art. But basically, when I was in secondary school, like I chose art as one of my subjects, right? And I was put in a class where it was like art and FNN,
FNN is what? Like
food
the
and
drink.
nutrition.
Oh.
Yeah. So basically, half the kids in that class were kind of like asked to take that subject
So it's
because
not their choice. They kind of just got chosen or what?
no. So basically, to put it bluntly, there were some kids who weren't doing well in school, and when you move on to streaming, Sec 3, then the school just advises you to take FNN.
Oh,
So
that's a little unethical.
no, I mean it's just
Really?
the Singapore education
I
system.
mean, I don't
lah.
recall this, so
I feel if I wasn't in that class, I also would think everyone in there chose it.
yeah.
Yeah, but basically they're just like, oh, you can't study, so go and take the cooking class, like subject. So and they also advise some people to take art also lah. So, but for me, I chose it.
Mm.
So basically, when I was in that class, it was just known as the
The bad class.
dumbest class in the cohort.
Oh shit.
But there was some students who I feel half or more like chose to take FNN and everything, but basically a lot of the teachers would just come in with the attitude that
It's the give up class.
yeah.
Damn. I was gonna ask you what school, but let's not do that.
Yeah, it's not lah. No,
Yeah, let's
but
not do that.
But I don't think it's really the problem with school because I had a great form teacher. I had a great art teacher also. I had great choir teacher who was.
Do you think it's because of how society values these things?
I think it's just how Singapore values it. Like art stream is always seen as dumber than the science stream.
That's not cool.
Yeah, it's just how it is. And then yeah, so I really remember there was this one teacher that came in once, and then we were preparing for social studies, I think.
Mm.
And then she just said, please, okay, just pass. I just want you to pass. And then she taught the class and she just felt like she just had this whole give up spirit.
Yeah.
Then I just felt like, okay, like I also feel why should I believe in myself? But I had a great form teacher and she really, really believed in us. And if I continue talking, I think I'll cry. But yeah.
Just do it if you need to.
No,
man.
it's okay.
Shout out to all the.
Shout out to Mrs. Wu. Mrs. Wu, I've been trying to contact you for years, by the way.
Mrs. Wu.
And I have failed to. So Mrs. Julia Wu, if anyone can get her contact, please like send to me.
Mrs. Julia Wu and
Thank you.
whoever is from her class and whoever
I
is from
got her
her
number,
school.
yeah, from like my old teachers and stuff, but
Yeah.
like she changed it, so even they don't know. Anyway, yeah, so I guess it's just all this, and then I wasn't very sporty. I felt sick a lot. I was always like the sick kid. And I just don't come to
That was
class quite a bit because I would just be sick, and it just feels crappy to be sick all the time.
yeah.
Yeah, and then I guess I was just in a very typical Asian family. It was just a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Like fights and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
and
yeah,
just,
for sure.
I think it just made me question a lot. And I guess, you know, based on experience, that's why, like what I told you about what I'm passionate about in terms of helping and encouraging like younger people. Because
Yeah.
I know what it's like to feel like, okay, I'm just not that great. No one believes in me. Like and just feeling as if you
Are not worth anything.
yeah, okay, but not so jialat lah. I think thankfully I still do had glimmers of hope in my life. There were people around me who were awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah lah, it was a time that I had to go through. Yeah. But I would definitely say that I'm so happy I experienced all that and I grew out of it, everything. I think every day we all have new odds stacked against us. But definitely I think I'm in a better place for sure.
Very good, very good. You're gonna need to take a quick cut, right? So I don't think we ever talked about it, but let's go for a quick cut because like our cameras got recording limit. This feels foreign to me, but if it isn't, then maybe I'm stupid.
Okay.
But whoop. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. So that was a really quick break, even though we did so many things. You just don't know, you don't FOMO. Okay, so we were on the topic of the underdog. Okay, so and then you shared a little bit about your your schooling life and whatnot, right? So I actually resonate a lot with that story. Okay, because personally, right, I was not an art student, although I always felt like a science student, an art student in a science student's body.
What does that even
Let me
mean?
explain. Let me explain. Okay, so like, I also went through the typical academic route, right, where people were like, oh, science, right, things are good, and I had really good teachers. So I had like, there was nothing wrong with my how to say learning journey in that sense, right? No one gave up on me, and as a result of that, right, I got pretty good at my sciences. So I was really talented in my science subjects, even though they never interested me. Like,
Right.
I was never really passionate about them.
Actually, I get what you mean because
Yeah.
I had really good chemistry. I had a really good chemistry teacher in secondary school and
Yeah.
in JC.
Yeah.
And honestly, the teachers make so much of a difference. If
They
not for
really
them,
do.
right, I probably would just be
Same.
bad at it and hated
Yeah.
it.
So
Yeah.
I discovered this when I was in JC, because JC was when I made it to JC, then my parents kind of loosened up a little bit, right? So, but not a lot, just a little bit. Just enough for me to slip up, because I realized that I realized that I was really not passionate in about STEM stuff, right?
What is
Even
STEM?
though science, technology, engineering, and mathematics
I see.
is the science subjects basically.
Okay.
Even though I did well in them from like primary school, secondary school. So in JC it was like whoop, right? And then like funny enough, I don't know if our viewers know this, I'm actually a 2-time uni dropout.
Whoa.
Yeah, so like I dropped out from 2 universities, and that's more universities than most people can say they drop out from. So
That's so interesting.
basically,
What happened?
yeah, so basically I didn't discover what I like, and I was basically very aimless, and this aimless, rote, hardworking attitude can only take you so far, because if you're not interested in something, it's very hard to be disciplined in that, when you're studying, and especially so at the uni level.
So what was the first course and the second course?
So I went to SIM first to study business. It's pretty okay about it, not so good, but it just didn't really quite sit well with me. I was still a little bit blinded, so my friends and family told me like, hey, just try to reapply, next year into any course, into any local U, because all local U's are better than private U. So being the dumb student that doesn't know anything, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. And then I got into NTU, your alma mater. So I got into mechanical engineering.
Wow.
Did it for 3 very agonizing years. And then the tipping point, long story short, when my grandfather passed away, I was like, damn, I was like 4 grandparents down to 3, and I've achieved nothing, and I'm wasting my parents' money. And that's when I made the very, 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 very tough decision to drop out of school again.
Whoa. Did your parents get angry at you?
I think they were super afraid and disappointed by that point, right? But like, I was very driven, because I guess the death of a grandparent really motivated me to pursue my passion in the arts.
Right.
So I started out with photography and videography in TSL, right? And then yeah, and then now we're here having this
Yay.
conversation. So this is something that I resonate with a lot, because I had very inspiring teachers, and they were also the reason that helped me through my academic journey. Even though mine was a little bit, I hate to say this, but a little bit less tragic, because nobody gave me that gave up attitude. But the thing about it is that like because of their motivation, I could do well, but I felt that it was never, I wouldn't have been able to come out of that system a winner without the help of my teachers, and I understand that gratitude that you have.
Yeah. So I mean, I did have some give up teachers, but I did have some really good ones also.
I mean, to end off this question about being an underdog, so did you enjoy being the underdog? Because I do know some people who get off being the underdog and then coming out with a success story. Was it something you enjoyed?
I was talking to another friend the other day who was saying that he has like reverse jealousy, where he actually feels jealous of people who, like, usually you feel jealous of people who are privileged, but sometimes he feels jealous of people who like really had to rough it out and everything.
Yeah.
Because dude, I don't think my journey was even that bad. Like there are definitely people out there who were just worse off, and I think to some extent I wouldn't think about like whether I enjoyed it or not. but rather I just think of what I learned from it. So I think to some extent, like you always learn. The harder the stuff, the tougher the stuff you go through, like the tougher you become, right? Yeah. So it's true that the people who have gone through like really, really difficult childhoods or like difficult periods in their life, like they grow out a bit tougher.
Yeah.
So I would say I don't think I enjoy it, but every time I learn something from a tough situation, like I really enjoy it. And even now, like I said, I'm in a better place, but there's still things that don't I still face difficult times and stuff like that. But a lot of times there's so much I learned from it after it. And that is the part that I really truly do appreciate. Yeah, you just become stronger as a person and everything. Yeah.
So what will you do to encourage one of our viewers if, let's say, they're experiencing this? What's one thing you would like to say to them?
So I follow have you heard of Pony Smasher?
No, sounds funny. Sounds like a meme page.
He's the director of Shazam.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And for some reason, I don't know why I blanked out right now and I just can't remember his name. But basically he's a huge director and he runs he's a Hollywood like blockbuster director, and he just runs his own YouTube page to help aspiring filmmakers.
David Sandberg.
Yes, David Sandberg.
Yes.
Okay, so basically, I think there was this video where he talked about how like he went through he just went through a lot of depression, and I don't know if it was related to his craft or whatever, but I mean definitely movie making can take a toll on you. I mean,
Yeah, for sure.
even just filmmaking, like I used to make a lot of short films,
to be honest.
and just the higher the stakes the video project I work on, right, like the more pressure there is sometimes. And he was just saying that he went through a lot of depression and everything, but a lot of times he just didn't he just wanted to end it all, but he just didn't give it up because he just thought about how like you don't know what's ahead of you, and I thought that was just so powerful. So if I were to encourage anyone who's having a tough time, I think I'm just gonna quoting David Sandberg, like, you don't know what's ahead of you. You don't know what you're giving up on. Okay, I think if you really just keep going through, like just keep pressing on, right, there's gonna be something amazing that you would have missed out if you just gave up right now. Yeah. I think there are things in life that are worth giving up on lah. But you will know when it's something that you shouldn't give up on. And if you know that it's something that can bring value, that can change even just the smallest bit in the world, that's something you probably shouldn't give up on. And one day you will find out like the reason why you didn't give up on it, and it'll be worth it.
That hit me in my cocoa row. I kind of felt that in my cocoa row. That's a good way to end that off. Okay, following up on that, more good advice from you, okay? So this is actually something that I think people can learn from you, but just to recount your story, when you were younger, right, Annette had to ride the lift up and down to practice her singing so as not to disturb her family at night.
Where you find that from?
Do you think that this value of hard work / perseverance is lost to today's generation of instant gratification and fame?
I don't think so. I think there are a lot of hardworking kids out there.
A lot of the hustlers. Shout out to my hustlers.
Yeah, I feel like there are so many. I think every generation always, for some reason, gets off on dismissing the generation after them. I don't get it. What's the motivation? What's the motivation to just grouping everybody together and saying, oh yeah, they're just not as good, right? Yeah. Like, it's a bit high horsey for me. I don't know, because for the millennials, apparently, was it the boomers or what, who said that we are
strawberry
generation?
Well, we are working adults in a pandemic. Don't add us.
Yeah, and the thing was, I remember when I left my first job, I didn't even finish probation, and then I went to SGAG, right? And I was there for 4 months, I think. and then okay, before that I did some other jobs also lah, but
Yeah.
they were never really counted. But anyway, my parents were really really against it, and I think a lot of people around me were also just against it also, because it's like, how can you first full-time job 4 months, then you quit, and what, your next job you're gonna be like another 4 months and then you quit again and then just keep going. How many jobs you gonna hop? And then later I stayed at SK for like 4.5 years.
Did they shut up eventually?
Yeah, because now now it's been so long since then. So I think we discredit. There's no reason to discredit young people when they're still young and you haven't seen what they can do.
Yes.
Yeah. So I would say no. I wouldn't say that young people have lost perseverance and stuff. It's an individual thing.
Very good. That's a good thought to end off. So don't be shitting on people. Ask them how they do
don't.
it instead, and like, share, and subscribe. Like our YouTube channel. I don't know. Shameless plug right there. Okay, next segment is called The Artist. The Artist, okay? So the first original song on YouTube Annette uploaded was a song called The Otter Song.
Oh my gosh, how do you find that?
I tell you, our stalker is super good, aka the name of the person with the name on the channel, right? 7 years ago, okay? If we want, we can ask her to sing it a little bit. Yeah, we do want that. Why don't you give us
Oh my gosh, do I even remember it? I haven't even sung it
How's
in
it go?
ages.
How's it go?
So it was a song I wrote for like my then boyfriend, who's now my husband, by the way.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah,
Shout out to husband dear.
So I'm actually not the romantic one. Like you see all my is there someone's toilet? Sorry, okay.
You can't hear that. She can, but
Oh
yeah.
no! I should have mentioned it. So like a lot of my songs, the ones that I've released officially, not like this. They're all it's all songs that are very, human experience.
Yeah.
Or if I mention love, it's always often like either friendship, familial love, or just like general love. Like it's not very romantic love. Maybe sometime in the future, I'll write a romantic love song, but it's not really me. So that was the closest I had.
To a romantic love song.
Yeah.
The Otter Song.
Yeah, because we like otters. And then after that, I just thought it would be fun to write a song about two otters, and one is in the wild and one's in the zoo.
You
and
can't
they're in
just
love.
say it like that without telling us the song, without singing it for us.
You have to watch it because
No, you can't
works.
do it. Okay, do a
Okay,
quick one.
know
Like the chorus. Yeah.
And if home is where the heart is, and my heart belongs to you, I would climb the highest mountain to find my way back home to you. And if two is always better, and if one is made of two, I would swim the deepest oceans to find my way back home to you. I think I might have sang it in a higher key than the original.
Well,
But I'm not sure. I just wanted to start at a safe range, so
you must know that I am
Not-
clearly
yeah.
no music nerd, and that sounded utterly amazing.
haha.
Nice. Wow,
Oh my
you are quite the lyricist. That's all I can say.
Thank you.
It's simple, but it's good.
No, but you see, like, I think I've always been very into like the idea of why I love filmmaking also.
Yes.
It's like sound and image comes together, and a lot of my music also, I think about it very visually also. So in this song also, I think it works better when you watch it with the music video, which isn't even a real music video. I just took a ton of copyright free otter footage to cut it together to look like it's a story of two otters who
So
got
it's like
separated.
those karaoke.
Yes, like
in the
karaoke.
background, there's
But
this
at
random
least it kind of
lady.
makes sense, I hope. But I cut together the two species of otters, so you just ignore the fact that they look different, then it might make sense. I don't know lah.
Amazing. Like honestly.
Actually, I'm not even sure. It's been 7 years since that video. For all you know, you go back and like, wow, this video sucks, man. And people watch like, what is
It's
this?
okay, man.
It's
Don't
crap.
doubt yourself. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure. I'm sure you're proud of most of your the stuff you do. So be proud of this
No,
thing.
but because I mean, like as an artist and just I don't know, creator, like
Yeah.
you evolve and then you just change.
For sure.
And you of course improve lah, and you hope you
Yeah.
improve, right? So I'm sure I will look back on stuff I did last time and just.
I mean, regardless, you have
Yeah.
one appreciator at
Oh,
least
thank you.
here. Okay?
You went to watch it?
No,
is
I
it?
haven't. But
Okay.
like based on what I'm hearing right now, I appreciate it and I
Okay,
will
thank you.
watch it. Okay. So yeah, don't give yourself a hard time. I mean, from one creator to another, I totally get it.
Right.
Okay, because when I go back to let's not go there.
Yeah.
I don't want to show people my old work because Okay, no, but a follow-up question to that, okay? Okay, what was the process, like behind this song? What inspired you to eventually produce it and upload it? Because like you mentioned, right, romantic love songs is not something that you typically do. So what inspired this?
It was my then boyfriend's birthday lah. So it's very simple one.
Oh my god. Are you hopeless romantic?
I'm really not.
Oh.
I think it's the most romantic thing I did. After that, I never like.
That is not too good, but
Okay, no, I mean, no, it's just let's just say like my husband is more romantic than me.
Right.
So relativity, right? So then I just like in relativeness, I just lose. So
But I guess that song must have melted him into a puddle.
maybe.
Because you put a ring on it. Whoop!
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop. Okay, very good. Let's move on to our next question about arts.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because clearly you are a very, very arts-oriented person. Right? So, Annette studied in ADM in NTU, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, how was it like being in ADM in NTU?
It was pretty fun. But
Year of what?
2015, I think.
Yes, makes sense. Because you're 1 year younger than me. Yeah.
Yes, I graduated 2015. But anyways, yeah, it was really fun. I would say like art school in Singapore is a bit of a strange echo chamber, if that makes sense.
Echo chamber of what?
Of lies. Okay, no, just kidding.
Of
Just kidding.
lies. You heard it here and you heard it here first.
Guys, I appreciated my time in ADM. I also had some great teachers. No, but I think as in it just doesn't give you a very realistic worldview of the working world. Because the truth is that it's okay. I'll give you an example. I was in filmmaking, and every day, right, all we talked about were like art house films and like it just everything. It's very I wouldn't say okay. We discuss works that art
Yeah.
and art it's so esoteric,
It's very
you know.
art specific, but it's not very rooted in real life.
Exactly. So you might get a bit
Culture shocked when you come out.
yeah, and I think you might get a wrong idea of the realism of being able to chase your dreams.
The cruel real world
Yeah.
where
when you're in there,
non-essential.
because seriously, when you're in there, right, you just make whatever you want. They just like, yeah, so short film, anything. Whatever you want to make, express yourself, everything. But the truth is that you cannot just make money. You can't feed yourself by expressing yourself just like that when you go out into the real world. Yeah.
Especially not in Singapore, I would say.
Yeah, especially not in Singapore
Yeah.
lah. Yeah, but I would say, I mean, I think that turned out also to be a path that I managed to find in kind of, straddling the practical side of things and also the side where I express myself. And I don't think it's that bad a thing after all. Because it forces you to be creative sometimes when you just have more boundaries. Because
That's true.
yeah, because if I'm out there and like, yeah, every day I just express myself, then I might get too self-indulgent and
Yeah.
I think it's not good for like character.
Yeah, actually, I feel that that's something a lot of budding and young artists struggle with that self-indulgent idealism that they come out from with, especially if they have an arts background. You know? And I think this is something that I observed because personally I didn't have an arts background. So like I mean Alistair himself also didn't really have an arts background. This was things that we really put a lot more extra effort into, and we realized that hey, the real world is a little bit more real than just our art form.
It's true.
So like, what's one thing you would like to say to the new ADM student that is currently still, oh my god, like critiques everywhere, like
learn how to do your taxes because the school's not going to teach you how to.
shout out
true,
to everyone, man.
This is not just to ADM, actually this is every single
Everyone,
school.
yeah, and honestly, the IRAS website is kind of not quite there. IRAS, if you're watching this, can you please, like, as a working adult, like, stop giving me extra problem? I don't mind paying my taxes, but Yeah, level with me here. Okay, next question that I have for you, right? Was it ever an insecurity to you? Okay, well, this is quite a good one. Our producer's pretty good at coming with questions, right? Was it ever an insecurity for you where you feel, right, your art is not artsy enough?
Okay. First of all, by the way, right, I just realized I don't know if I look like I was hating on ADM. I wasn't. Just want to disclaim that.
We're all
I
chill here.
really
We
did
all
enjoy
love
my
ADM. Some more ADM is the
yeah.
campus that opened the latest, so
I
of
really
course
did enjoy
everyone
my
loved
life
it.
there. I just want to say I think it's probably not just ADM. I think most schools in general like just don't teach you enough about real life, and maybe art school just a bit more because
Yeah.
it's artistic and it just feels more fantastical.
Leave in the
Yeah.
comments below if you think that school don't teach you enough about real life. I think school teach you to gear you up for an academic life, not necessarily the real Singapore Hougang Yishun Ang Mo Kio life. Leave in the comments if you think that way. Right,
Okay,
so
sorry.
coming back to that,
Back
yeah.
to that question. I think okay. So first of all, I would say generally, I I am relatively secure as a person lah. Okay, relatively, but I would say yeah, my art is a huge part of me, and it does take quite a bit of recalibrating every now and then to make sure to remind myself that I'm not defined by my work. And so I would say first of all, when it comes to my work not being artistic enough, I actually enjoyed comedy a lot ever since like university. I mean even before that rather. But basically I enjoyed watching comedy films and just enjoying good writing
Yeah.
and what makes something funny. But you don't really analyze comedy in film school because it's not seen it's kind of
not
seen
the
as the
artsy,
lowest form of
yeah, I get
entertainment for
this. I
some
get this.
reason.
Yeah.
And you're just stuck with really dramatic artistic stuff and I in the end I made this really super like full on family drama for my FYP, and it just after I was done with that, I was like, never gonna do something like that again. Yeah, so I actually brought right this age old DVD.
I'm not gonna
I
show it to you
cringe.
because you're
Oh
shy.
my gosh, yeah, I'm very
I'll
shy.
just show you the behind.
Of my FYP for John and Alistair today, just because I was like, oh, I'll just for fun lah. And-
y'all can check my eBay. Oh, let's go.
I told them please like don't tell anybody about it because I don't know. Okay, yeah, so I try not. I try not to revisit old work every now and then. I always try and think of how I can make new stuff. But that was really really it was really dramatic and it's so serious. And when I was done that, I just felt like I was so emotionally absorbed into the process of the making of this film, right? That I couldn't. I cannot make a video as heavy as a film or anything as heavy as this ever again. Yeah. And I think I'm really glad that just comedy found me lah. I really didn't find it one. I really just ended up there. So okay. I think that was kind of why, if you remember earlier, I said I ran this comedy like illustrated funny stories blog, because that was an outlet for me to. It's almost a coping mechanism.
To be funny.
It was just something that would be like just something more lighthearted and fun that I can work on, because all the stories that you write in film school are all so serious and dark for some reason, and that I was just like, okay, I need to write something that's more fun, and so I just drew funny drawings and wrote funny stories about my life, and I enjoyed that. So that was like my little comedy escapade, which I would make comedy films on the side, but at that point in time, you need a team if you want to make a film. I mean, not in the point in time, like generally, if you want to make a film, you need a team. And at a point in time, I didn't have anybody to work on something like this outside of school with me. So writing was like the lowest common denominator. I could just write it and put it up and then draw something, and then I just need me as one person. And yeah, that led me to eventually finding going to SGAG and then later making funny videos, and and writing the kind of scripts that I actually was more interested in. So I wouldn't say that I feel my art isn't artistic enough. I do think there's a way to make comedy a bit more artistic at times, or at least just apply certain proper filmmaking techniques to it.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
yeah, like this, the way you shoot certain things, like why you choose the wide shot instead of the close up, or in terms of writing also, like story arc, like how do you build up to this plot and at the end it works, and even and that can be applied as simply to something like TikTok. Even it looks like a random simple TikTok I made that I probably, you think I didn't think much about, right? But I think so much into how to write it so that blah, 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 once I'm done and I just shoot it, and it's faster because I was able to apply all of that. Yeah. But I do want to in the future attempt to work on comedy work that does have higher production and look more artistic. I worked on this web series actually at the start of this year on SGAG's Nabet TV. It's called You Only Debut Once. Yeah, so
I have not seen that, but
you can go check it out. Yeah, so it's inspired by a true story, and basically it's shot like a TV show lah. Yeah. But it's like a comedy drama lah. So there are drama elements as well. Yeah. And if we're straddling, art and like, the not so artistic stuff, I would say at least music's able to fill that void for me. I'm able to be more artistic with that, and I'm able to go a bit more artistic even when it comes to like visuals and stuff for the music videos or whatever not. And for my future music, I'm planning to work, dedicate more time also to be able to
fulfill the artistic side.
Right. But I still plan to do both because I don't think I would want to do
either or just
wholeheartedly. Yeah.
Right. Very cool. Okay, we're gonna have to take another camera break, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So Annette has a lot of stories, so we have more stories coming up.
Oh, do I?
So yeah, you do. You're doing great, by the way. So yeah, bim bam boom. You're gonna see this real quick. All right, and we are back. So I just want to add on, to what we were mentioning earlier about artsy and stuff like that. I think that people give comedy too much of a hard time. People expect artsy feelings to come from feelings that are a little bit more deep, a little bit more to the point where some people prefer negative. But I think there is a case to be made, about happiness, because after all, happiness is a pretty base level emotion that everyone has. So more power to comedy, man. So stop shitting on comedy.
I think but to be fair, I understand also, because I think there are some styles of comedy out there that just gives the rest of comedy a bad name. Like there are some pretty lowbrow, or I won't say like lowbrow, but more
lowbrow's a little art snobby, but
yeah, that's why I was like, no, I don't want to sound like snobby.
Lowbrow's
but
a little
I think
snobby.
it's more of just that there's some kind of comedy where it's just not funny, or they're just
pandering to the masses.
no, it's just jokes that are either just pure insulting, or things that are just
not as tasteful as
distasteful stuff. Okay, I guess that was kind of what I was going for. There's just a lot of distasteful comedy out there that exists, and people kind of just group everything together. And
it gives comedy a bad rep in the art scene.
Yeah, and I guess that's why I'm also trying to like constantly improve my writing, and you see some of the latest stuff that I make. I was mentioning that new series that I'm trying to work on. Like it's a satirical news series, right? And I mean it of course, when I was growing up, I was so inspired by the news, because I think that was a very different take on humor, especially locally. Because back then, like a lot of when we were growing up, most of the humor, like comedy stuff that we saw on TV were like Phua Chu Kang,
Under
One Roof, all that kind of thing.
Thief.
It's very sitcom comedy, but comedy has such a huge range and like spectrum, and I love that they tackled satire because somehow Singaporeans are seen to not really delve into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Shout out to my man and Lai, man. You've inspired me too.
Yeah. Shout out Michelle Chong.
Yeah, man.
You're my inspiration. Yeah, but anyway.
Hashtag love,
Cannot.
love, kiss, kiss.
But yeah, lah, so I think I really want to see in the years to come or whatever, like how I can try to maybe push this envelope because I think there's so many things that there's so many parts about comedy that is misunderstood.
Yeah, for sure. Very cool. Okay, let's move on to our next question. Annette's songs are often about human struggles and emotions. Do you think that great art needs to come from a place of suffering? Now, I know for a fact this question is important to Alistair because he asks me all this question all the time. And I think as a creator, there are a lot of people who grapple with this thought. You know, where they fall into a trap, they're like, hey, I just want to make happy stuff. Why is it that a lot of people value the struggly stuff, the emotional stuff more?
Is it people value the emotion?
Apparently they do.
Like, but like, look at BTS's Dynamite. Like, it's pure happiness, eh? And it's the top charting thing, you know. I don't think it is people veer towards either direction.
But BTS's appeal is clearly something else.
As in, you're trying to say that if it's random person A and random person B, one person puts a happy song, one person puts a sad song.
With all
people
things,
will probably
people will value the
towards
art, like the art value. They will value the ballad more than the.
Really, man?
Really, what?
I never thought about that. But okay, I guess I never really sat down to do. I don't know, has someone done a survey on this? Is there some statistics?
Man. Maybe this is just Alastair's view. But if let's say you were to address someone like Alastair, you know?
So by the way, I just want to tell you one of my favorite jokes.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is that
perfect time to slip in a joke.
Did you know that 80% of statistics are made up?
No.
Elsa's laughing. He got it. Did you get it?
No, I don't. One more time.
Do you know that 80% of statistics are made up?
Oh my god.
Okay, never mind. If you don't understand, you'll just write in the comments again.
Yeah, if you understand, please laugh in the comments. If not, clearly Whiskey Sun has robbed me of my intelligence.
Oh no. Okay, anyway. So I would love to see if there's some kind of survey made on that though. But okay, so I would say
that joke was too meta for me.
You're almost there. I feel like the minute I go home, right, next time
I'll just be like, oh, and then I'll DM you and just be like, I got
it. Okay. So anyways, I would say, do I think good art needs to come from a place of struggle?
Yes.
I really don't think so because I feel that there's so much good art out there that has been birthed out of joy. And I think it's also kind of messed up to like want to go through pain just so you can make good art. Like if you're an artist and you're like, oh, I want to break up with somebody so I can write a sad love song. Then like why?
That's just kind of sad.
Yeah, and like you're messing with your own mental health here, you know, for the sake of a song. Is that worth it? Like, no, it's not. But yeah, I really don't think it needs to come from a place of struggle.
Yeah.
But I do think that some of the most powerful art that is out there does come from a real place of struggle.
For sure.
Yeah.
You know, in fact, I want to quote an artist that has always been very inspirational to me, and that's Neil Gaiman, right? He actually once, is it Neil Gaiman? Goodness, I can't remember because of Whiskey Sun, but basically I think it's Neil Gaiman, you can correct me if I'm wrong. He once gave this very passionate speech about make good art. You know, if someone made a poem about make good art. And ironically enough, he did highlight that a lot of good art did come from people who were struggling, and good art is made, but his point is that good art is made regardless of your circumstance. is not because of the circumstance. I think that's what's important here. So it doesn't necessarily have to come from a place of struggle and suffering. All right. So Annette once said that there's, quote, there is always a danger of depression when we forget this one important truth. We are the art we make, end quote. Do you even remember saying that?
Huh? No, I didn't say that. There's
Sorry. I'm just going to quote that again because my eye's too small. There is always a danger of depression when we forget this one important truth. We are not the art we make, end quote.
Did I say that?
Yes,
What?
you did.
Instagram is it or something?
It's probably a caption.
Probably like
It's very caption, very
very captiony.
very
Probably from
teenage
like many
caption.
years ago.
Yeah. So
But
okay,
I-
so
yeah.
here comes the question, right? So how do you strike a balance between detaching yourself from your art and pouring your emotions into it, or rather yourself into it? Because I believe as artists we pour a part of
Yeah.
ourselves into our work.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult. It's kind of like what I was telling you about how that short film, that really depressing short film I worked on, is a depressing family drama about abuse. I really was just, okay, I wouldn't say I was depressed because I was not diagnosed, but I was just so drained, at the end of it. And I just felt, and I think it was just that couple with the fact that it was my graduating film, and then I entered into a quarter life crisis, and I just like, why am I ending it on such a heavy and sad note with this show? And yeah, so I do think we do become a part of the work that we make. It is tough, but I do think that as artists, as creatives, right, it's really very important to sometimes just switch off and remember to detach yourself from all of that and realize that your identity is not your work.
So what do you do to, how do you do that? How do you actively seek that balance? Because I think a lot of people fall to either side, they're either aloof or they're so invested that they become affected. So how do you strike that balance?
And I totally understand that because that show I was telling you about,
Yeah.
You Only Did Me Once, we actually weren't able to finish it. So we did like a pilot, like 3 episodes, and there was going to be 3 more episodes, and then we couldn't finish it because like a lot of different external factors like
Yeah.
COVID and everything.
Yeah.
And it just tore me apart because the team and I had worked on this for quite a while, and it was the subject matter was something I really, really felt for, and everything, like young girls and cyberbullying and just chasing your dreams in Singapore, being an artist, being a creative, and I think what made me realize that actually, you know what, like, it's okay, because I realized that what we have as creatives are ideas, and that cannot be taken away. It's okay, you can't finish one idea, someone stole your idea, whatever. Come up with another one. Like, you will have one. Don't worry, you will have one. And you're just gonna keep having more. So it's just it's not as big a deal as you think it is. And whenever something falls through, or whenever something is done or whatever, I think it's important to just keep your eye on what's next. Yeah. Yeah.
So ironically enough, reminding yourself that you're an artist is how you transcend being an artist.
Wait, what?
Right? Reminding yourself that you can do more is how you transcend being a creator.
Yeah, I think,
Well, bam, print that on a damn t-shirt.
to some extent, yeah, it's kind of like every time, the reason why you, and I think one good way in which I try not to make my work define me is that once it's done, it's put out in the world, it's over, it's empty. Like I said, I'm not empty, as in I'm back on a blank canvas, I'm back on clean state.
Right.
I have nothing to my name.
So am I correct to say that you write neither on your successes nor your failures?
Yeah.
That's very good. That's a very good
slowly
concept to have.
taught myself to not fear failure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm so thankful for that, because I feel that there's so much like liberation in not fearing failure.
Yeah,
like just
yeah.
trying something that doesn't work out. Okay, whatever doesn't work out, next thing.
For sure.
Yeah. And so I try to spend a lot of time by myself also, and just, you know, whether it's, you know, internalizing stuff, finding inspiration, all that. Yeah, I try not to get caught up with all the noise. Yeah.
It is a pretty noisy world if you think about
Yeah.
it.
So I on that note, I guess I would, let's say if there's like negative I don't know, comments or whatever, it doesn't really get to me. But I don't let I always try and make sure that I don't let like good comments like get to my head also. Just like,
Right.
oh, thank you. Someone compliments you, thank you, then move on. It's not like, yeah, and then just always remember lor, every day when the day starts, you know, again, yeah, you're just on a blank canvas again. Yeah.
Fantastic. Every work is a new piece of work. All right, very good. Okay, let's finally move on to our next section. You know, this is something that, I mean, it was great discussing art with you. Next is the human. Okay. So we're going to ask you about what was the incident that happened with the pub owner?
Oh my gosh.
Why don't you tell that story?
I've said it a few times, I think, and I think that's how Alistair probably found it. When I was in university, I was in a band, but it wasn't like a full band. It was just me and my friend Marcus.
Two-piece?
Yeah. So he was a guitarist and I would sing, right? He would back vocals for me at times. So we were a substitute band. Oh my gosh, our band name is called Marcus and Annette. Very uncreative, I know. But I think you
That's
can
like,
still find
no,
us
but
on YouTube.
honestly, these kind of names can win competitions. It's like, remember when we had that naming contest for the budget terminal? It ended up being called the budget terminal. But then,
Yes. Then like we were a substitute band, which is for all those people who don't really know about like the gigging industry. Basically, you know, at like pubs and cafes or whatever, they have a
standard
they-
roster.
yeah, they have a regular. So they have a regular band that's like every Friday or something, or
Yeah.
Saturday, whatever.
Back when it was not COVID times, by the way.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But occasionally, you know, the band might fall sick, or you know, they might be away or whatever. Then there will be someone who would call you up, and you're on their substitute band list. So like, hey, do you want to come and sub today? So basically, we were a sub band, and then we did this. So we did quite a lot of sub gigs, and there was this one gig we did where if we did it well, because they were looking for a new regular, so if we did it well, we would be the new regular band.
Oh my god.
So we were so
You
excited.
would sign on, but with a
Yeah,
pub.
this was our big break.
Yeah,
Then
man.
after I went there, and then we just like, I sang my heart out, man, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, gave it our 110%. Then at the end of the day, and after that, my guitarist spoke to the owner, and then he came to me, and he was like, oh, hi, hey Annette. So the owner says that, like, you know, he really likes us, but can you change the singer? He was, yeah, so he asked, he basically he told my friend, can you change the singer, which is me lah. So I said, oh, okay, sure, I'm not hurt. And then I said, yeah, go ahead lah. And so they did change the singer.
Well, okay, to Mr. Lee, Tan, Ng, or whoever you are. Yeah, you missed out on this. That's all I'm
No,
saying.
I think I was really I don't blame him. Why you say that? I really
I'm
don't
just
blame. I think
saying.
I was
I
probably.
don't
really
blame
think
him.
I was
I
probably
don't
very
blame him
sucky.
either. But I'm just saying that you missed out on this.
No, I really think I was very bad. Like, I really think I was probably just really very sucky. I still
am
remember my
pretty
first couple
sure.
gigs. It was disastrous. I'm so glad like not many people listen. To
Well,
me.
all I can say, if you were really sucky, I guess as Finn the dog would say it. Sorry, Jake the dog would say it. Finn or Jake, I can't remember right now because of Whiskey Sun.
Jake.
Jake the dog says, dude, sucking at something is the first step to being kind of good at something.
I guess. But you see, that's what I was telling you that
Well, let's
at the
cheers to
beginning,
that,
all
man.
the yay
Cheers to
sucking
kind
less.
of sucking less, yeah.
Yeah. Always on the road to improvement. No, but really, like, I think the first couple gigs I did. That's why I was saying what I kind of liked about the pub gigs is that people don't listen. They really don't. That's why I was saying people don't listen. So it really gave me that room to fail.
So it was, ironically enough, even though it was a public stage, it was kind of a safe public stage. Because
Yeah.
people don't necessarily pay attention to your because
But
of Whiskey
after that-
Sun, right?
No, but after that, after that, I couldn't really when I started do some of those gigs where there's like a audience who's just 100% attention on you. Then I a bit cannot like culture shock. Why are these
You
people?
couldn't
Why are
transition.
people staring at me? Yeah, and it's a bit stressful. But yeah, like kind of
That in
what I
itself was
saying,
another learning journey.
yeah, that was
Perfect. So, I mean, this leads on to our follow-up question about this point, right? Do you think that the media industry is needlessly ruthless?
media industry.
Yeah, funny that it says the media here because I want you to maybe give, think about the gig industry firstly, like what you mentioned. And yeah, after that, subsequently, the media industry. I call it media industry because I believe a lot of creators exist within this bubble of the media, even though it's not very clearly defined.
Wait, but what do you mean by ruthless though? And what do you mean by needlessly ruthless?
So, like for example, I think what Alistair is trying to say here, Alistair, our producer, and the name of our channel, is trying to say here is that like there was really no need to split the two piece up,
Wait, what to? Oh, right. Okay.
right, in your gig. So that was where they were being really ruthless with how they selected their regulars, which is not necessarily a wrong thing, but it's just that do you acknowledge that this is the common thread that is in the gig and media industry?
Okay, so I really cannot speak so much for the gigging industry because I honestly wasn't there. I wasn't like my feet touched the water, but I wasn't
Right.
swimming in
so
the
you
pool.
dipped about 2 toes.
Yeah,
Right.
about that. And so I really don't think I can speak so much. But I would say so in that sense for that first part I would say maybe not really because
Yeah.
he had the right to reject me and
For sure.
and I probably really just wasn't that good. And
Yeah.
also the fact that I could get all the earlier gigs means it probably wasn't that tough.
Was
I mean fine, I was a sub band lah. We were substitute, but still I think that there was room for like the standard isn't so high in that in industry in that
Right.
sense. Yeah.
okay. So,
So-
definitely not needlessly ruthless.
Yeah, so I wouldn't use the word ruthless in there.
Right,
Of course got
right.
standard lah, but I would say my brief time there was still generally pretty fun, pretty chill. Yeah, and I don't recall any terrible experiences
Right, right.
or anything.
No,
And
I mean-
even that wasn't really a very bad experience.
Yeah,
It's
I mean it
just
was
a funny story now.
probably more good came out of it than harm, frankly speaking.
Maybe. Yeah, I did practice a lot more after that. I
Yeah,
would say.
great. Okay, but as a veteran in the media industry right
Am
now,
I a veteran?
you're pretty damn veteran. You're the 100% most veteran in this room, for
I am?
example.
Oh.
Yeah, pretty sure you are. Yeah, so
Interesting.
what do you think about that industry then? Especially being part of the media industry that specializes in social media.
Okay, can you elaborate on what you mean by ruthless? I still don't know why.
Okay, so like maybe ruthless in the sense that it's very cutthroat. Talents that are more developmental find it harder to find a place to grow. People are it's getting saturated. People are easily turned away because of the quotas and the number of creators that exist these days. It's all these kind of things. Which I believe after I list out like that, right, it's not unfamiliar to you. You get what I'm trying to say? Yeah, it's these things that exist within the industry that we both are part of.
Because I would say I feel I'm kind of part of media but also kind of part of entertainment, and it's there's quite a lot of differences in both. But I think if you're talking on what it seems like you the angle you're thinking about is more of like an individual kind of angle, like individuals who want to find a place in the media industry, who want to get their start, right? Do I think it's ruthless? I would say, I don't know, man. Do I talk about my personal experience or
I mean, if you want to,
okay?
I mean, if you can draw from that and give us an answer, why not?
Because if I were to draw from, say, like my personal experiences working here, I would say that it's actually quite like alright. I don't find it very ruthless or anything. In fact, I think the ones who work really hard or whatever, like, you know, okay, I know they say like advertising industry is, you know, slave driving and everything.
Yeah.
And what I do is sort of advertising also, you know, like coming up ideas and stuff like that, a lot of the content that we create.
Yeah, for sure.
So but I think in terms of, in comparison to the midst of whatever the advertising industry, full on advertising industry is, which I was never really a part of,
Yeah.
I would say it's really not that bad.
It's not that bad.
There is room to kind of have fun
Yeah.
in the internet space, I would
Yeah,
say.
yeah, yeah.
But on that note, I do think that it's necessary for you to want to challenge yourself.
Mm.
Yeah. So if wherever you're working, or like, you know, if you find that it's not that ruthless, you should probably try to make it a bit more ruthless for yourself. Just on a personal level, like
So don't get too comfortable, basically. Is that what you're trying to say?
But I do think that, you know, creatives, and I read this somewhere and I found it so true, that most creatives, right, are actually very self-motivated.
They are.
Yeah. Like, you don't need to try and motivate them. And there's this article that was saying about how it's important that when you hire creatives, you make sure you don't demotivate them. So you don't make them lose their motivation. You don't really need to do anything to make them motivated. But just to make them lose the motivation.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite a powerful thing to say.
Yeah, so I just thought that was actually pretty accurate, like, as a creative, because I do think, right, that if nobody tell me to do anything, I will just go do myself, because I just, as a creative, you have a desire to create, right? So you just want to go and make stuff.
So even on that, I resonate with this, because like even on top of certain projects that I don't necessarily believe in, I still do my own creating. Like look at us now,
Yeah.
right? Like, we don't necessarily require any external push. I guess what we would require will be a nice environment. Just be kind to us.
Yeah. Yeah, so you see, that's, I think, like, if you're not kind to creatives, like, that would be a factor for demotivation. Is demotivation even a word? I'm not even sure, but basically,
it's a word now.
Yeah.
Annette has said it, so it better be a word.
But I mean, I'm not trying to say that, you know, maybe people should like pander to you or anything. But I think the truth is, creatives really just don't ask for much. We don't ask for money. That's why artists are all broke.
Yeah, boy. We just ask to be sad, but in our own way.
We just ask to be able to create things.
To do our own shit.
Yeah. So that's why I do think that, you know, if you're not getting challenged, like, just go challenge yourself.
Print that on a t-shirt. Print that on a mug.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So I think this is quite a good guiding principle for people to work on, especially when they're creatives. Yeah, and I mean, to creatives out there, right? If you're not self-motivating, then what are you doing? Very good. Okay, so, you know, once again, we got to take another break, because we have so much to say, and we still have one more segment-ish to go.
Oh, we do? Okay.
Yeah, we do. Are you enjoying yourself so far?
Yes.
Perfect. We'll see you see you real soon. And we are back from our toilet break and a little bit of drinking break, and yeah, we're back. So, okay, Annette, let's not waffle anymore, because, you know, you do have a lot of things to share, and I don't want to take up your airtime by filling in my personal
I don't know if I have a
details.
lot more things to share, but...
No, you definitely do, and we love it, okay? So
Feel
just
free
you
to
do
ask
you.
me.
But the next question that we have, okay, was that Annette said that she started getting anxiety attacks in university, right? What was the reason behind these attacks, and how did you deal with them?
Fun times. Okay, so
Fun times.
I think it's just, you know, back to Singaporean education system, just very stressful lor. And I actually, right, on top of that, I think starting from JC, right, I started to get really bad migraines.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That-
That's why I think I was really sick kid
That's
my
not
whole life,
ideal.
like non-stop. Like I would fall sick a lot last time. Just common cold that kind of thing. And then I had a lot of gastric issues also. Like I had to see a specialist for like my gastritis and everything.
Is this all stress related?
No, it was since like for my whole primary school and secondary school. I just
Primary school.
yeah, I wouldn't say it's genetic. I don't know what it is.
It's really
In
rough.
kindergarten, I had asthma. So it's like I would graduate from one like sickness to another. It's so dumb.
Wow.
I'm so much better now, by the way. But anyway, so after that, starting JC, right, I would get really bad migraines.
Yeah.
I don't really talk about this a lot because thankfully now I don't have it anymore also, right?
Yeah.
But it was also a result of stress. And
Yeah.
then on top of that, I think when I hit JC, right, I feel the pressure just continued to climb
Yeah.
because I was nearing graduation and my quarter life crisis. I think it's just the fear of knowing, oh my gosh, in 3 years time this all gonna end. I need work. In 2 years time it's all gonna end. In 1 year's time it's all
I
gonna
think
end.
we all kind of struggle with that.
Yeah, and sometimes there'll be days like if I'm working on something or there's just something I'm thinking about and it just freaks me out and then I just start crying. Like I just break down and like cannot breathe kind of thing. I think there was once where I think I was helping a friend on a shoot or something and then someone said something to me that wasn't nice. And then I just like went out and I just broke. And then my friend was with me and I don't think it was that bad. It was just like a passing remark that wasn't very nice and it just broke me. And that was very close to graduation. And I think sometimes, just stuff in family just stresses me out. So yeah, there'll be days where I just cannot. And I think I've gone so much better really ever since, things started to settle down. And in the past few years, only a couple times, like there was this one day where I had a million things on my to-do list and I just and
And you
I broke.
choked.
Yeah. Like I had to go for a rehearsal and then
Uh-huh.
I broke and then I told Ralph, like my husband, I was just like, oh god, can I ever finish this? And then I'm not gonna go. Then he's like, you just pack everything now and I'm gonna send you there, you just go. Then you come back, then you finish it. And I just like then I just and
Baby, save
I
me,
finished
baby.
it. Yeah. I did finish it lah. I think sometimes it just there will be days where it's overwhelming,
Yeah.
but very rare now lah, I would say, thankfully. Thank God.
That's very good.
But that was, I think uni was a lot of, there was still a lot of anxious moments.
Yeah.
And I would say also, yeah, I see my FYP or just stuff that I was working on, like my work itself just affected me so much. And just I don't think I ate well, I don't think I slept well and everything just because of the nature of like film production.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is something that non-creatives don't get,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they just don't. That like how soul-sucking it can be. But it's kind of
And sometimes it's not like I want to,
Yeah.
It's like sometimes, right, last time I will OT and then my husband asked me, why do you need OT? Just work on it tomorrow lah.
It's not that simple.
No,
man.
yeah, and sometimes it's just you need to finish it. The deadline changes. The client
Yes.
suddenly comes back and changes something, and you still have to make the deadline. It's not so easy. Like
Yeah.
for them, it's like, oh, stock market open and close.
Yeah, boy. And when we kind of have to straddle whether this is something that we can still feel for. And it's like, I'm proud of this thing. We all hold that little idealistic mindset in ourselves. But yeah. To be honest, in the workspace, we don't hold it in that high regard anymore, but we wish we did. Okay, very good. Thank you so much for sharing about that. Okay, next question, next segment, and finally we're moving on to our final part, okay, which is the dreamer. Okay, what do you feel about the problems with the media scene in Singapore, and what does the Singapore government / Singaporeans need to do to improve this?
Okay, but wait, can I just say first?
Yes.
That like Alistair, I find it so interesting that you segment the way you segmented everything. It's like chapters in a book. You can
Yeah,
write,
I mean,
you can write my biography.
if you like and
know?
subscribe to our channel, you will know that every single HTHT is like that lah.
I watch, but then I'm impressed by my own. Is what I'm trying to say. Like the way
Okay.
he segmented mine.
Nice save. Pretty
Okay.
good. Pretty sure she should have drank more whiskey instead.
No, really. Okay. So anyway, sorry. Yeah. So problems is it?
Yeah, first with problems though.
Okay, can you repeat the question again?
Okay,
Let me
so
think about
one more time. So what do you feel are the problems with the media scene in Singapore? Part A. And then part B will be, what does the government / Singaporeans need to do to improve this?
Okay. Culturally, Singapore is just not there. And it's
Yeah.
sad. Like I wish we had more culture, and I try my best to, in whatever mini part that I can contribute, I try to, even if it's short skits or whatever, I try to
Yeah.
introduce our culture lah. But at the same time, I don't want to make certain content too Singaporean in a sense, because then nobody outside
Yeah.
can
It's like an
relate.
inside joke, right?
Yeah, and I think who does it very well is, say, like Korea. Like
Yeah.
they're able to keep their own culture, their own like language, or everything
Yeah,
that
yeah.
they say, but it's still very exportable. Like everything that they create, and I feel Singapore has a bit of still a bit of runway to get there,
Yeah, for sure.
and I think quite a bit of the work somehow just falls on either side, either extreme of the spectrum right now. It's either super Singlish Singaporean content, or it's stuff that sort of denies our culture. And I kind of understand both ways, and I've made content in both categories before, so like super Singlish jokes and everything.
For sure.
But also I've also made stuff where, make this work not look like Singapore. Like one of my first few music videos also, like we shot a story where we try not to show HDBs because we don't want to make it look like Singapore. And I think it's just an experimentation, and I feel if we want our media scene, our arts scene to move forward, there has to be that middle ground that we need to try and find lah. And I would say in how the government can probably help is really just supporting more creatives, because I mean the sad truth is that a lot of like government funded work is very safe. Yeah. Like a lot of the grants that they put out and stuff, I would say it's pretty it's not crazy kind of stuff, because let's say you won't be able to make a piece of work that criticizes the government, for sure. No.
Yeah.
But in America you're able to do that. Like they can make a film about part of their history that they did not agree with. Yeah. So we don't have that level of freedom in Singapore. And while I would say, yeah, I mean, it would be good if they would allow creatives to be able to push certain grounds of creativity.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's gonna really happen just because I said this.
Yeah.
So I would say
on that
deal
vein,
with...
I'm just curious what
Yeah.
you think, because do you think that's necessarily a bad thing?
Yeah, so on that note, now that's what I was saying, that ultimately we just work with the cards we're dealt lah.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I've mentioned what is sort of a problem and how I think, the government could help. But
Yeah.
because it's not the reality right now, then maybe I'll talk about how we as individuals maybe are able to kind of make change happen. And it's going to be very tough, because ultimately it's hard for single people to actually do it. Like it's singular people to do it.
Yeah.
But I would say we gotta just face the fact that this is not how Singapore is able to... This is just not how Singapore is run.
Yeah.
And to some extent, I actually even understand why the government would play it so safe, and why they also are not so liberal with the
Yeah.
way that they fund content,
Yeah.
because of what Singapore is lah. Like, we are a
Yeah.
small city state, and we don't have resources. We don't have much, and it's too much of a risk for them to be able to do
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
So while that would be great, right? I think in terms of what we can do is maybe try to find that balance between practical and artistic. So while fine, Singapore, you don't get a lot of creative freedom, but if you're creative, you shouldn't sit around and like whine about it, because I know it sucks, but go and make your money, go and get your life settled,
Yeah.
and then with whatever you have on the side, then work on that. And that one, right, like nobody can stop you.
Yeah.
So instead of depending on your surroundings, right, like see how you are able to create something on your own.
Yeah.
And I think it's not impossible. It might seem impossible, but it's something that if a lot of people start doing together, if the next generation, like thousands of youth are holding full-time jobs or part-time jobs and create whatever creative work they have
Yes.
out there, it's just going to push so much more for our cultural scene. It's just going to push so much more. There's just going to be so much content that is filled with heart and filled with passion.
I
Because
agree.
basically, I honestly think that work you create that is not your job, right, is often the ones that have the most heart and have the most passion. Because
Absolutely.
no one's paying you to do it. No one's telling you to do it. It's not homework. It's like you just want to do it because you want to do it. And I think, yeah, as a country, if more creators step up to try and do your client work, do your whatever you need to do to get that bread, and then use some of that bread to make your stuff, put it out there in the world, then as a combined like a community, right, it can make a change one. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think funnily enough, right, this restricted non-government supported style with side hustling to support your art form is actually the Singapore style.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. So funny enough, that is how we have been forging the style as a bunch of artists. So yeah, man, get that bread even if the government don't give you. Okay, next question that we have for you. Okay, so Annette's song Crossroads, she sang a verse. I quote, "Everybody has got the best plans. We build castles in the air, but then stop there. Is it worth the risk to take a step, or do I dream less?" Maybe you want to deliver that in actual song form, because I kind of rapped it for you.
Oh my gosh, am I singing again?
Just that one line.
Wait, everybody's got the best plans. We build castles in the air, then stop there. Is it worth the risk to take a step, or do I dream less? That's it.
Yeah, that clearly sounded better. So, I mean, which do you think sounds better? My rap or her singing? Right, leave it in the comments below.
We'll do a rap version if you prefer.
Okay, but the question here, the question comes, okay. So what do you have to say to people who are hesitating about their dream?
I say go take a risk. Yeah, and again, back to that previous point, it's not to take a risk like that very American dream kind of take a
Right,
risk.
right.
It's
Not a blind risk.
yeah, not I'll quit my job and give up everything, chase my dreams kind of
Accent not included, but yes.
yeah. Like kind of take a risk.
Yeah.
But do it the Singaporean way, which is don't quit your job and but carve out time and try something that you would otherwise never try. Yeah. I actually always if I have to give one advice to creatives or whoever,
Yeah.
it's to have a side project. Yeah, and
the side hustle, right?
Yeah, I mean just anything, and I'm the I would say a perfect example of how a side project can lead you to better things. Like we always think that it's when you're in school, you know, you think it's your grades, it's gonna get you a job, it's whatever you do in school that's gonna be for your future. But I really beg to differ because honestly, when SGAG hit me up and was like, "Hey, do you want to join a team?" They didn't even look at my resume. They actually didn't even know that I went to film school only late when I joined. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, and it was because they just liked my writing.
That means SGAG taiko, yeah. SGAG you taiko eh.
No, they just really liked like the stuff that I wrote and they thought it was funny and everything. And essentially, yeah, my side project was what got me started in the industry.
Right.
Yeah. So always have a side project and so basically really I don't know what I'll be doing now if I didn't have a side project. Yeah, so don't underestimate the power of a side project. So if you're creative, go have a side project. You think you're at art school, right? And I'm already doing whatever. I'm really creating art. Like I do this for this class, that class. I'm creating art. But ultimately, you're really just doing it as you're told. You're doing it because your teacher told you to do it. It's because it's homework. So even if you're in art school, go and do something for yourself.
So the school will hone your crafts, but your side project will hone your heart.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I love that.
That's the hippiest shit you hear come out from my mouth, but yeah,
I love
man.
it. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, man. We have come to the end of today's episode.
We have.
Before we end off, Annette, do you have anything, one final words that you would like to say to our audience, or anything that's happening for you that you want to advertise now? Now is the advertisement space. Please go ahead.
Stream my songs. and
stream our podcast. What are you talking about?
Yes. And watch my TikToks. And if you're on YouTube right now, subscribe to my YouTube channel also.
And us. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed.
And also,
subscribe.
if you haven't subscribed here, please subscribe also. Subscribe to both of us. I'm gonna be making quite a bit of stuff. So I look forward to showing them to you, and I don't want to give too much away. So just follow me everywhere, then you'll find out.
Hashtag no spoilers, but you can always start by following us to follow her, right? So for those of you that enjoyed today's episode, please give us a like. Once again, everyone hates the YouTubers for saying this, but please go ahead and like, and then after you go and click and subscribe, then you click the notification bell, and then it's free, and then we love you deep lah, huh? Love you deep, huh? Can you do the Korean finger hearts also? Yeah, everyone loves that,
Okay.
so please. Alright, thank you so much for joining us today, Annette. Right, if you like to see more guests like her, right, please always leave in the comments below. We always love your input for these type of episodes. And like I mentioned, who do you want to see us bring in next? Tell us. But until next time, bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
Oh, my phone.
It was so much fun.
Yeah, one final cheers for the road.
Oh my gosh, I feel like it's been hours.
It indeed has been ours. Cheers to our all good health.